Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand road trip video for Manchester United versus Bayern Munich at home in the Champions League. We've just had open training, Erik Ten Hag's press conference, and Erik Ten Hag doesn't want to do much speaking. He wants action on the pitch. He says he believes in this team to beat Bayern Munich tomorrow, despite Bayern Munich not losing a Champions League group game since 2017, September 2017 to be exact. It's a big task for Manchester United tomorrow. And even, actually tonight, because it's going out tonight, it's a big task for Manchester United tonight. And even if they somehow manage to beat Bayern Munich, which I think is a big ask with the way that Manchester United are playing at the moment and the players that Bayern Munich have at Old Trafford, if we play the same way we did at the weekend, we will get slaughtered. If we play the same way we did against Chelsea, we still could get slaughtered. Even though the Chelsea game was good, we did concede a lot of chances on the transition. So Manchester United really need a solid game plan going into tomorrow night's game. They need to give everything on the pitch just to give themselves a chance. And even if Manchester United somehow manage to beat Bayern Munich, which, to be honest with you, shouldn't be, it's always going to be a difficult game and it's always going to be a game where it could go either way, but it shouldn't be one of them where you go into this game thinking there's no chance on earth. And that's how I feel like going into it, and I want to be positive, but that's how it feels by watching Manchester United at the moment. But if somehow they defy the odds and they do beat Bayern Munich at home, Bayern Munich are already through, so realistically they don't need to win this game, but they did get beat 5-1 by Frankfurt at the weekend, and Harry Kane's been talking about bouncing back on Tuesday. They're going to put out a strong team. They're going to want to beat Manchester United to kind of put to bed the loss at the weekend and just put together a winning streak of games. And obviously beating Man United at Old Trafford is a very good victory for Bayern Munich, and they can take that forward with some confidence, and they won't want to not beat Man United, especially the way we're playing at the minute. To them it'd be probably, to their fans, it'd probably be a bit embarrassing not to beat us with the way we're playing at the minute. But if we somehow do beat them, we still could end up in the Europa League. It's all about what happens in Copenhagen versus Galatasaray. Galatasaray, Copenhagen needs to end in a draw, and Manchester United need to beat Bayern Munich for Manchester United to go through. Even if we win and Galatasaray win, then I think we go into the Europa League. I think if Copenhagen beats Galatasaray and we win, I think we're still out. I'm not sure how it goes, but I think that is the way it is. Definitely going to be a huge ask to get through this Champions League group stage, but where there is hope, and we will believe. I'm trying to believe. This team makes it hard for me to believe, but I want to talk about how we beat Bayern Munich. Well, the first thing is we need to stop getting caught in the defensive transitions. It's something that happens continuously. The Bournemouth manager said himself that he knew how to beat Manchester United. It's so easy to beat Manchester United. All you have to do is do a little bit of research. He said he knew that they'd put players high up the pitch, and he knew he could exploit them in behind. Because if they manage to get in behind us, all it takes is 1 or 2, 3 passes maximum to just bypass our entire team, because you've got Bruno, McTominay, both high up the pitch, the wingers high up the pitch, the strikers high up the pitch. You've just got Amrabat left with Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, and potentially one fullback that might be back, because a fullback pushes up as well. So it's so easy to beat Manchester United in the defensive transitions, and Bayern Munich have the players to be able to do that. They have tricky players. They have players who are excellent on the counter-attack. Harry Kane isn't the quickest, but he's intelligent, and he's, for me, probably the best striker in the world, along with Erling Haaland. So it's going to be such a difficult game, and that needs to be looked at, because we cannot go into that game on the counter-attack being as open as we have been, because we will get destroyed. Another thing that needs to be looked at is the Luke Shaw centre-back, Reguilon left-back partnership. I don't like it. Sergio Reguilon coming on in the second half against Chelsea, yes, he did well. I said what I said about Chelsea. I think they're quite a poor side, to be honest with you, and you don't know what team's going to turn up. I don't think it's a massive achievement to come in the 45th minute against Chelsea when we're already controlling the game and put in a decent performance. Chelsea were not very good. But we saw against Bournemouth, Reguilon played from the start with Luke Shaw. I criticised Erik Ten Hag for not spotting that danger earlier. You could tell, sat in the crowd from 15, 20 minutes in, that wasn't going to work. But Erik Ten Hag let it run, and he let it run, and we end up getting punished, because Luke Shaw, it's the first game I've seen him look very uncomfortable at centre-back, which Dominic Solanke did a brilliant job, I have to say. But at the same time, we need Luke. He can be, I still think he's a top-class centre-back, even though he had a bad game. One bad game doesn't defy a player, but we need him at left back. We miss him so much. Going out from the back, the triangles of Bruno, Garnacho and Luke Shaw, we missed it in the first half against Bournemouth. We really did miss it. We missed that sort of outlet, and Luke Shaw's just brilliant at it. Reguilon was getting beat consistently, getting shoved off the ball consistently, couldn't win headers properly. Luke Shaw can do all of those things in abundance, and with the wingers that Bayern Munich have, I do think Luke Shaw is a necessity at the left back position, and I would be bringing Raphael Varane in. Raphael Varane, we were going to ask him in the press conference, Erik Ten Hag, what does he have to do to play? Obviously, he's had some poor games this season. His form's not quite been where it was, but he was such an important player last season. He's an established centre-back that's done brilliant across the course of his career. Who was it waving at us? Hello. I don't know who that is, but I'll give him a little wave anyway. But anyway, so, Raphael Varane's been such a good centre-back across his career. He's won Champions League. He's got Champions League experience. He should be starting tomorrow night with Harry Maguire for me in the middle. Even Johnny Evans. I start Johnny Evans as well, ahead of Reguilon and Luke Shaw's partnership. I think it will be Johnny Evans, but I would personally play Raphael Varane and Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw at left-back. Get your best players on the pitch. Raphael Varane has something to prove. Bayern Munich, Harry Kane is such a tough opposition to go against. You've got to have centre-backs in there that know how to deal with him and can deal with him, and I think Raphael Varane and Harry Maguire's probably been the best, most informed player for Man United, have to be there at centre-backs. Dalot, Wan-Bissaka, it's a toss of a coin. Maybe go with... I'd go with Wan-Bissaka. The reason I'd go with Wan-Bissaka is because Dalot should have squared it to Højlund. If that was Ronaldo in the box, he wouldn't have even thought about shooting. He should have squared it for Højlund, and he needs to learn from that mistake. I think Wan-Bissaka comes back in the team for me, because even though I really like Dalot and I think he's got a lot to offer, I just did not like that sequence of play. I think it should have changed the game, and for me, I'd bring Wan-Bissaka back in, especially because you're going to need your most defensively solid players in that team, and for me, Wan-Bissaka is just a little bit more defensively solid than Dalot, and if you get caught in the counter-attack, he's somebody who can make a one-on-one challenge, and they're things you need to be looking at. The midfield three, I would go with Amrabat, Kobe Mainoo and Bruno Fernandes, but Erik Ten Hag will go with Amrabat, McTominay and Bruno Fernandes, I'm quite sure. McTominay is in the presser, he's going to start, but for me, of course, he's our biggest goal threat, he's our top scorer for Manchester United, but for me, that's a super sub. Someone that can't give you it over 90 minutes. I think Chelsea give it over 90 minutes, but someone who can't regularly give you a good midfield performance over 90 minutes, but can put the ball in the back of the net, needs to be used as a super sub. Kobe Mainoo's got awareness, he's got anticipation, he can control the ball, his passes are excellent, he always looks forwards, he's got vision. I think with the destroyer, with Amrabat there and Kobe Mainoo next to him, he's got great anticipation and he's got great vision and passing and knows where to be at the right time. I think that would be a much more defensively solid combination than Scott McTominay and Amrabat, because Scott McTominay is always pushing up the pitch, obviously by instruction of Erik Ten Hag, which is another thing that works when you're scoring goals but doesn't work in the defensive transition, and which one is costing us more really. Is the goals worth it for the amount it's costing us? I'm not sure. It's a question for you guys. It's something that I'm considering, but I've come to the conclusion myself. I see Scott McTominay as a super sub. I absolutely would keep him as part of the squad, but as a super sub, if you need a goal in the last 20 minutes, bring him on. That's what I would do. I don't think he's good enough for over the course of 90 minutes to sacrifice really having a body in midfield that knows how to pass the ball, knows how to control the game, which Scott McTominay it isn't his forte. His forte is putting the ball in the back of the net. And he's got a good tackle on him as well, but he's often caught out and he's not good enough to be the midfielder, for me, in Manchester United over the course of 90 minutes. But he will play tomorrow. I hope he scores. I hope he has a good game, because he's capable of it. He's definitely capable of it. Your front three, it's got to be Garnacho, Antony and Højlund. Rashford and Martial were ill today in training. It's frustrating, but there is a winter bug going around in Manchester. I've been suffering with it, so they've been ill in training. Højlund, brilliant in the Champions League, would be great for him to get on the score sheet. Garnacho, in a great vein of form, obviously didn't do very well against Bournemouth first half, came into his own more in the second half, but was getting completely marked out of the game. Antony is starting to kick on, putting in more solid performances. We need some attacking output from him. And you've got players there with something to prove. Antony needs a goal so badly to kick on. That'd be a great opportunity for him. Højlund, a lot of people criticising Højlund. By the way, I'm completely behind Højlund. He's not getting as many chances as he should. Of course, some things he needs to do better himself, but he's 20 years old. He's 1 year older than Garnacho. He's just come into this team, and it's a team that's notoriously bad for providing for a striker. I don't know why that is, because Bruno Fernandes is extremely creative, creates the most chances. That's something that Erik Ten Hag needs to look at, why we consistently haven't been able to provide chances for our strikers. So Højlund tomorrow, hope he gets a goal, builds the confidence up. I think the fans need to massively get behind Rasmus Højlund, because he's a young player coming into a team that isn't settled, a team that is in and out of bad form, but mostly in bad form, and needs to be creating more chances for him. If I was Højlund, I'd be pulling Dalot up in the dressing room saying, why did you not pass that to me? They need to be the conversation that's being had. Højlund needs them chances for him. It's not the only chance. We should be creating more, so I'm not completely blaming Dalot, but that needs to be happening. So I hope to see that tomorrow night, because Harry Kane's going to get plenty of chances from the Bayern Munich players around him. Rasmus Højlund needs the same sort of service, but that's the team I'd be going with. Andre Onana in goal. He's had some shaky performances in the Champions League. He needs to turn up tomorrow night badly. He needs to be on his best form, because we will be having shots at us. There is no doubt about that, and we need to make sure we keep out as many as possible. Of course, it's the defence, midfield and attack to be defending the team as a unit, but of course the goalkeeper needs to be on top form, and we can't afford any mistakes, because you will get punished against Bayern Munich. It's a team that you can get punished by so easily. But there is hope, and when there is hope, it could happen. We need star moments from Garnacho. We need Captain Bruno to turn up and put to bed that horrible performance on Saturday, not just from him but from the whole team. He's the captain of this team. We need everybody to turn up. We need Ten Hag to put the right players in the right positions, play your best team, get a game plan together. Sometimes you've got to sacrifice certain things. I know Ten Hag wants to play that transition football. We have loads of people forward. You can't do that tomorrow against Bayern Munich. You just can't. You will get hurt. So I hope the right decisions are made. Less talking, more action. It's in Manchester United's hands to win that game, and then we'll see what happens across the rest of the group. Would you want Europa League or not? Get in the comments down below. I've come to the conclusion that actually I would want Europa League, because it's probably our only chance at a trophy, and it allows us to play the likes of the Palistris, the Amads when he's back from injury. Obviously, it gives Erik Ten Hag chance to kind of change up the team, take a few more risks, especially in the early days of the competition, and it's not a huge deal if we do end up going out of that, but you want to be able to win trophies, and it gives us a good opportunity. But get your score predictions in. I'm going to go with I can't predict United to win. I'm going to go with a 2-2 Manchester United and Bayern Munich. That means that we'd be out of the group. I hope we win this game. I'm fingers crossed. Let's get behind the team despite the poor performances. Let me know who do you think is going to be important in tomorrow's game down in the comments. Come on, United, where there's hope, we can do it. Let's see what happens. See you later, everyone.